Welcome back to the Acritical Podcast. I'm your host, Andy, with my co-host, Andrew. Where two absolute morons discuss politics and news. Episode 1 was interesting, and we are endeavouring to improve this every week. This week we're prepared. We're not Googling anything.
Yeah, I put my cup down slowly. That's what I prepared for.
Yeah, Andrew's not going to drink or crackle a bottle in front of the microphone. And so we've actually got some stuff prepared for today. We're also going to open up our email address. So if you want to send us stories or news articles or voice messages about what you're finding hard in today's current climate and economic crisis, we'd be happy to hear and listen to you on the show and tell you our thoughts and maybe give you some advice or just tell you that really, really sucks and that you've been heard. Because sometimes, no one wants to listen to you to complain, but we do. We want to listen.
Yeah.
Because we want to complain as well.
We like to complain.
Yeah. Are you right?
Yeah, I was on my microphone cable.
God,
The chair
I
was
did
on
that
it.
last week.
I didn't want to
You got me paranoid now. All right. So, Andrew, what have you prepared for us today?
So
What's your
basically,
big story.
just some news stories, really. I mean, all right. So basically, biggest story probably is Peter Dutton criticised for rejecting crime prevention, which wasn't really like police or security guards or like youth crime prevention programs. It's more like just CCTV cameras.
Oh, so it's not crime prevention, it's catching criminals.
It's catching criminals, which at the same time is like, that was your phone.
Oh, damn, that was my phone.
Oh, damn it. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, what does CCTV do? Like, I know it's like,
It catches people.
it
That's
catches people.
No one's sitting there watching them live.
No.
If you are, creating jobs, woohoo, but like, what are you going to do? You're going to call the cops and they're going to get arrested. That's not crime prevention. That's just
No.
crime catching.
Yeah. And a lot of Labour and Greens have highlighted it as a, it's, taking away funding for crime prevention in an Indigenous community.
It's not crime prevention. CCTV cameras are not crime prevention.
And they also highlight it as an Indigenous community. And
Crime prevention would be youth programs, job seminars, whatever, actually making it less viable to be a criminal and more viable just to be a human in society.
exactly. And
More police presence doesn't help either.
And Nullarbor is the town, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, it's not an Indigenous community-based town.
It's just a town.
It's a mining town, but it does have a hub for Yolngu communities on the Gove Peninsula. So they do meet up there, but it's not
An Indigenous community.
It's not an Indigenous community.
So the Greens and Labor are trying to say the LNP are racist because they don't want cameras for an Indigenous community. That's not solely an Indigenous community, and it's not crime prevention.
As much as it is like, okay, yeah, they maybe should have that. I think it's much of a spin to be like, yeah.
Yeah. It's sad when you agree with Peter Dutton, eh? Maybe they should say no to that funding and put in...
Thing is, I don't think he'd want it. I don't think he wanted anything, really.
Yeah, but like youth programs or something, So what other news did you get today?
Today, actually, the story was a fresh of like 3 hours ago. The federal government lifts humanitarian intake cap to 20,000 visas.
Nice. So they're lifting all that COVID shit.
Yeah, so it's basically being returned to, well, not even pre-COVID, like
LNP.
Liberal government. It's actually
Pre-LNP.
It's actually returned to its level that it was in 2013, which was
maybe
when
our
they got
economy
in.
will finally do better.
Yeah, maybe. Because, well, if you think about it, we've had a lack of like skilled people, and like even though,
yeah, but like, immigration's good for the economy. Because otherwise, you just end up with a dying population.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll eventually end up like Japan or China, where your population's dying. You need immigration.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you call it, if you left Australia, you need outegration?
Outegration.
Or would it just be immigration reverse?
I think immigration across multiple countries in this day and age is just healthy
Yeah, I mean, you get different values, different ideas.
because you have different. Like I know it's bad to say, but also you get a lot more genetic diversity
Oh my
in your
god.
population.
Yeah, that's good. That's always good. That's
Yeah.
why there's places like is it in the Netherlands or somewhere, like those small towns that the average population age is like 60 up. They're like, please come live here. If you live here for 10 years, we'll give you 30 grand. And if you have kids, we'll give you 10 grand for each kid you have. Yeah. And you got to stay in the town, though. And it's like, I kind of get that because, you know, they're just trying to diversify the community.
Or it's like in Japan where it's like, oh, we'll pay you to live here, but you have to be Japanese, though.
Yeah, yeah. Come home.
Come home.
Come home, please. I never really understood until like I saw like a lot of people going to Japan and they're like, yeah, they're super racist to anyone who's not Japanese.
Oh yeah,
it's like wow,
but
wow.
I do like some of their housing policies though. It's very
like stack them on top of each other.
No,
or?
it's very nationalized. Well, I mean that is kind of like a good way. Like you get subsidized housing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like I understand both arguments. Like especially for Australia, like. If we go up instead of out, you'll have way more housing, right? Mm-hmm. But we have so much out.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why does everyone need to be packed in like little fucking chickens in a factory?
But at the same time, it's like, why do I need to be half an hour from the shopping centre?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like every time they build like a new big estate, they should probably put more shops and everything. And I mean, that's more jobs.
I've literally got 3 Woolworths within an 8-minute drive of each other.
Woolworths.
I don't shop with them, but not anymore.
No, money grabbing pricks.
Moved at Aldi's.
They're good. Aldi's good. I usually go look at the baby section and stuff because they have dope shit for my son.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. They're awesome stuff. And it's cheap as fuck.
Ooh.
Their books are like $6.
Really?
Like little, like big picture books and little books and stuff. Like they're so cheap. There's like little $2.50 ones and stuff. He loves books.
Yeah.
So Aldi's like, I get like half groceries, half shit that I didn't need, but I bought anyway because I was there. You know.
Special buys. All right, next story. Britain's first leader, Paul Golding, criticises Brisbane over Ashura procession commemoration, which is a Muslim...
Wait. So some races can't over in
Britain,
England.
In England. This is like the...
Is saying Brisbane's wrong for having a procession.
Yeah. For procession. So...
A procession for procession?
So basically it's an Islamic community holiday.
Yeah, well fucking let them do what they want.
Yeah, and you know what they do during that time is they give blood, they give to the community, they volunteer.
Evil people.
Yeah, what evil people.
Okay, name one Christian holiday where you give to the community, not just to your friends and family.
Yeah, right. So basically...
Yeah, they're always asking you for money. It's like, hey, the church needs a new fucking roof.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give this money to anyone, but we need a new roof and a new sound system.
And then we'll get the money back anyway on tax.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's such a scam.
It's such a scam. So Ashura is a yearly Shia commemoration of the persecution and death of...
Shia.
Shia commemoration. S-H-I-A.
Shy.
Shia? You reckon?
Yeah, it's not Shia.
What, with an A at the end? S-H-I-A.
Hang on, you keep reading that. I'm going to look
Okay,
at
you look for the spelling. There's a lot of words that I don't know how to read. Persecution of Hussein ibn Ali, Prophet Muhammad's grandson, is held on the 10th month of the Islamic calendar. This year's Brisbane event being held on the 29th of July. Oh, so this was like last week.
Jesus, my phone is not loading. How do you spell it again?
S-H-I-A.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Shia? Is Shia?
Shia?
Shia. That sounds right. Shia.
Shia?
Not Shia. Shia. Partisans of Ali.
Oh, there you go. Well, it is in our main language, so...
Shia... Pronunciation. Okay, so basically this white cunt said, you shouldn't do that because then.
Yeah, he's
brown
saying
people.
it. He's this guy over in.
But why do we care what England thinks?
Why do we care? I don't know. This is a news story.
I'd love to separate from the fucking Commonwealth.
I would love it as well because they're all like
get rid of them.
You watch videos of like radio, like the radio channels they have over in England, and it's like some biddy calls in, and it's like
Shia.
Shia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a chia seed, but
Shia.
There you go. But anyway, Brisbane Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner said racist abuse was not welcome in Brisbane. I'm proud that Brisbane is welcoming multicultural city that's home to residents of more than 200 different countries. Which is true. Okay. Abuse or hatred directed towards anyone based on where they are from or what they believe is entirely unacceptable and should not be tolerated.
Exactly. But like, okay. So like Australia's a multicultural country, right?
100%.
Would it... I've heard the argument that you shouldn't even have to say multicultural. It should just be Australia's a country and it should be inherently multicultural.
Well, the Multicultural Australia PR campaign started after they decided to scrap the White Australia policy. And it's...
I know, but like... I don't understand either argument. But like... I just heard people say, you should say multicultural.
You shouldn't... You
should just say Australia because that's all inclusive.
I can understand it.
Because Australia was made of immigrants and the indigenous people.
100%.
Like to say that the culture of Australia is like WASP or whatever is
WASP?
Yeah, white Anglican Protestant or something.
Yeah, very much.
Oh, white ass something Protestant. I don't know. But you know
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so like to say that Australia is like
just white people.
Inherently a white Christian country. I would never say that.
It's inherently wrong.
Yeah, Australia's a diverse, multicultural melting pot.
Especially because, I mean, this just dismisses the fact of a lot of immigrants were Catholic or they were Greek Orthodox or something like that. Or
Irish.
Even if they were white European.
They weren't seen as a first-class citizen.
They weren't seen as a first-class citizen.
Yeah, but like, yeah.
I think I can understand the argument of you shouldn't have to say you're a multicultural country because it's like you shouldn't have to say you shouldn't have to say you're racist.
Yeah, you should have to say, oh, we're a racist country.
You should just say.
I mean, the racism in Australia is fucking.
It's fucking terrible. That's probably why they're trying to.
It's awful.
Oh, it's terrible.
And like the thing is like you're not born racist; is you're taught to be racist. So like at some point in the line, it's either your parents or your teachers or the people you work with or whatever that are teaching you these things, and you're picking it up and thinking it's okay.
Yeah.
And it just, it's like every time things go forward, it's like Australia goes one step forward, two steps back.
I think it goes down to the Western influence and the conservative.
Oh yeah, like
got a big yawn there going, bud.
I know. Conservative US media is just a fucking fallacy.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a fucking, it's a burden on our society. Like, you remember Dan Andrews had to come out and say we're not getting rid of abortion rights and all this stuff because all that shit in America was getting people scared in Australia. And then there were national ministers in Australia saying, oh, maybe we should follow suit. And Dan Andrews had to come out and be like, this is not fucking happening while we're in power. Yeah, this isn't even a conversation that anyone's having.
They were trying to have a trans debate and they were trying to have an abortion debate. And it's like, no, we're not having this discussion.
No, it's a completely American issue, and America can stay the fuck over there.
Yeah.
Even though we're their little bitch, they stay away.
Yeah. We just follow them with their imperialistic kind of style because we don't want to get involved with that.
They're the emperor.
We've been fucked over before in that regard.
Yeah, they're the emperor and we're little baby boy.
They kicked out our prime minister. They kicked out one of our prime ministers.
Yeah, because he was against the US imperial fucking...
He was against the US imperialism and was against their involvement with the ACO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what got him bootied.
Yep, 100%.
I mean, it'd be really nice to leave the Commonwealth and to leave the United States of America.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
for some reason we've become one of their states.
We're still just we're a part of them, but just not.
But like we're a self-sufficient country. Like we could literally produce and mine and make everything here.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've got all the resources we need. We've got lithium. We've got iron. We've
Got
got
the land.
the land. We've got coal. We've got oil. We've got everything in Australia. But still, we see the need to export it and then import something else.
Thing is, though, we've got the space. Like 100%, we've got the space to produce our own goods and manufacturing, and also just do that. It's like during the COVID pandemic, like the price of fertilizer went up like crazy in Australia, especially because we don't have any production. Like I know it's not like Sri Lanka or anything like that overseas where they didn't have any access to fertilizer, and it really caused like massive famines over there.
Yeah, but it's strange that we don't make more here, and it's like people say, "Oh, that's such a nationalist value." And it's like, yeah, but also like, why don't we make like the thing is like, why do I go to the shops and it is impossible to get Australian bacon?
Oh yeah,
like there's like the home brand, and maybe there's another brand, and then everything else is imported.
even though we have
It's
a whole
like-
bunch of
we've got pigs.
yeah, we've got tons of pigs.
We've got pigs.
Yeah.
And how is it cheaper or not cost effective to have the pigs here, ethically killed, and then butchered in Australia and then distributed, where it's like, oh, we'll just buy shitloads from overseas that we, questionable of how it was killed and everything, and then bring it over here.
Yeah.
And it's like fruit and veggies that it's imported. Like, go down the frozen chips aisle, right, in Woolies.
Mm.
Find me one bag of sweet potato chips.
Not
that
under
aren't
like
from-
$6.
No, that aren't from South Africa.
Oh. Are they from South Africa?
Yeah. And then you go into Costco, you can buy a 3-kilo bag
Mate, you go out to Gatton,
in
you
Australia.
get those big as fuck potatoes, sweet potatoes, like the size of your size of your head.
But like just like frozen chips that like half cooked, so you just throw them in the oven, right?
Yeah.
How come I can't get Australian ones? We grow sweet potatoes everywhere,
Yeah, everywhere.
and we grow so many.
Yeah.
And it's like why is everything imported?
I don't know.
It's like food and produce. Like we can grow it all here. We can do it all here.
We can do a lot of manufacturing here.
And everyone goes, oh, it's the cost. It's like, well, so instead of paying Australians and lowering your profit margin, right,
Yeah.
but paying Australians to make Australian goods, you would rather pay people overseas who are living in shit conditions, getting shit pay, probably abused,
Yeah.
so that you can make a larger profit margin back here in Australia. It's just, like it's the global economy, but it's just wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
It's abuse. It's capitalism.
like if they brought out a phone, right, and they said this phone's going to cost $2,000,
Yeah.
but it was made in Australia with people who were paid for their labor,
Yeah.
I'd buy that phone.
Well, for one, a phone that's $2,000, fuck yeah, because most are like $3,000 or $4,000 now.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, if they brought out a phone that was like, I'm not talking like a top of the range phone, just like a phone.
Just a phone.
Yeah, and then they said, hey, look, this is made in Australia. Everyone was paid for their labor. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, I buy it. And
Yeah.
it's like most things. Like, if you told me that there was an Australian car company coming back, which we don't have any,
No.
and they were making them in Australia and they were paying their workers, I'd probably go for that car.
Is Isuzu Australian?
Nothing's Australian. Nothing's made in Australia anymore.
Nothing's made in Australia.
Nope. Do you want me to tell you where Isuzu's made?
Yeah, go look it up. I think Mahindra.
Mahindra.
You know what the Mahindra brand is?
Yeah, that's MG Great Wall,
Oh, is it?
isn't it?
I don't know. I remember I remember Googling it. I think the one Australian one was a designer, but I'm not sure.
Mahindra. How do you spell Mahindra?
MH.
Isuzu's American.
Oh, they're
Not
American.
American, Japanese. Why did I say
Japanese.
American.
I make good utes.
Yeah.
I think inherently the problem as well is that, like, the problem that they've created is because most countries developed off of the big factories. Like they profited off their manufacturing and developed from countries from that. Like
yeah, and like they had factory towns and
England-
mining towns.
England and America during the Industrial Revolution boomed up and became modern epicenters of, like, they don't produce concrete, they don't produce steel or anything like that. Like they produce microchips. They produce things like that. They produce specialized goods. While countries like China, like India, and all those
second world countries like Australia supply goods.
They supply goods, but then there's also some manufacturing going in those countries that don't have rights. They don't have workers' rights.
Oh.
They don't have workers' rights at all.
So they can exploit them.
So they can exploit them, and then the problem is that those countries, this is the inherent problem of capitalism, where they go, oh, but we lift people out of poverty. Okay, you've lifted a lot of people out of poverty into jobs that don't exist.
Yeah, yeah.
So where do the people go that design microchips? Where do the engineers go? There's 1 million engineers. Where do they go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. They just work at the factory.
Yeah.
And so you inherently make a generation that's basically poor, like we are, where you tell them to go to university, get a degree, and then it's worthless.
Yeah. It's like, that was literally our generation, all of high school. Go to university, get a degree. You won't get a good job otherwise. Go to university, get a degree. You won't get a good job anyway. Otherwise, you know what I should have done? I should have just become a fucking plumber like I wanted to.
Exactly. So, so if the problem is that your society only benefits those with the elitist jobs, then your society is just going to fail.
Yeah, and like thinking about it now, like all my mates who are well paid tradies, unlike us,
they own their second house by now.
They earn so much money, and like everyone I know who went to university is like pulling at strings.
Yep.
And it's like our whole generation was told, go to university and you'll be better off than all these tradies. And it was a lie. It was a straight fat fucking lie.
Yeah. I think the best guy I've seen come out of university is he got, at our university, he left and then became a plasterer, and that's all he does.
Yeah. And
he left, he's like, nah, fuck this.
Like we were saying it today, it was like so many people we knew who were like in creative arts, who are like, or like are tradies or laborers now, used to be in like creative arts and visual arts and all that, and they're like, fuck, I need a paycheck because I can't just keep working for exposure.
Fuck no.
That's like the film industry. They're always like, just you'll get there. Just keep putting in all those hours that you're not at work into this and do all this, and it's like eventually you can't keep doing that.
No, 100%. I think there's a total of four or five that are generally very successul or getting up there in a career in film at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
In my trimester anyway.
Yeah, in my class, there's like a couple, but like, you know, there's a couple out of like 40. Yeah. And they're really starting to break in now, and it's like, what, nearly fucking 8 years since I graduated.
100%.
And it's like, it's taken you 8 years, and like I've had so many different careers since then, and I've had a wife and a kid, and like, it's like I can't imagine only breaking into the industry now. If I did 8 years of that, I did like what 2-3 years of trying.
Yeah.
If I did
like working for the uni and like working your ass off, and like, oh, I might be able to help out with this, and then
working at the uni, doing free shoots, trying to organize shoots. Just got to the point where I was like, man, I spent 40 hours this week working for free. Yep. And I didn't get shit out of it.
No.
And everyone's like, oh, just try harder. One day you'll get lucky and get picked up. And it's like, no, I kind of want my life to actually start.
The thing is, though, is that, you know, it's the funniest thing, though, is like they go, oh, you know, you just got to wait for your lucky beat. You know, you got to wait for it.
Some people just don't get lucky.
Some people just don't get lucky.
Like, that's the thing is.
But then you hear celebrity stories that's like, oh yeah, I didn't get in until like I was 38, 40.
Yeah, it's like how long
what were you doing?
Waiting?
What were you doing beforehand? Oh, I went through 3 divorces and my kids hate me, and I ate peanut butter sandwiches all the time, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like at what point do you just give up?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not giving up now. We got a podcast going.
We can talk.
We got this shit going.
Yeah, we can do this while working.
Yeah, because it only takes us a couple of hours a week.
100%.
I've got a story that was pretty big this.
All right, well, I'll just read this little story.
All right.
So basically, the federal government is set to strengthen its objection to Israel settlements in the West Bank, the Palestinian territory occupied by Israel. So when they say strengthen, the wording has changed. They will use the term occupied Palestine territories.
Yeah.
This will align with the United Nations, UK, and New Zealand and Europe.
Good. As long as we're not aligning with the US anymore.
Yeah.
Where it's, they're a genocidal fucking country.
Keep on me.
It's like people say, you can't criticize Israel without sounding anti-Semitic. It's like, well, I'm not being anti-Semitic. I'm just saying that Israel's committing genocide against the Palestinian people.
They're committing genocide and they're committing apartheid.
Apartheid?
Apartheid. Like, quite literally, you can look at it and it's ethnic genocide and ethnic segregation.
It's an open-air prison.
Yeah.
They can't go out one side and they're being crushed by the other side.
Yep.
It's like, where are you going to fucking go?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank goodness all these white people came in years ago and were like, hey, we're going to make a new Jewish state.
Well,
like, that's good and all, but like,
yeah,
you're wiping out another people in the process.
I would suggest people, if they were like, oh, well, what kind of Jewish state would you prefer? I think there was a philosopher that was either before or after World War II that people, I can't remember his name, that people should look into, and it's about the diaspora of the Jewish people. Diaspora, yeah. And basically explain that, like, and it's with most faiths, like, you don't need a country where your faith is the main thing. It should be...
Your faith is your faith.
Your faith is your faith, and the people in the culture should exist, and that should be your main focus. It shouldn't be what it is. It shouldn't be a state.
Yeah. Like, it shouldn't be a Christian state. You should just be citizens within, spreading your word.
Exactly.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
I get that.
Yeah.
When I was in church, they used to say that whole thing of, like, the goal isn't to get into heaven, it's to bring heaven to earth. It's like, oh, yeah, well, you're fucking diddling kids and shit, you asshole cunts.
Was it really like that?
I was in a cult, man. I was in a cult for so long.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, every week it'd be like, it's not about going to heaven, it's about bringing heaven to earth. Now, everyone put your donations in because we need a new sound system.
They had like a fucking massive TV when I was there.
Yeah, we need a new sound system. Oh, the projector broke. We need a new projector, and we need a new roof for the church. And does everyone want to come in on their Saturday and help paint the hall?
What?
And it's like...
Hire a painter.
It's like, dog, do you know how many hours I spent at that place and, like, just wasting my time?
Dude, I helped you after one weekend when it was like you had a party at your place, and, like, I was fucking drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I stayed at your place, and you're like, oh... Because I didn't have my license then. You're like, oh, I'll drop you home. But, like, we have to go to church first. And you're like, oh, do you want to wait here? Or do you want to come with? And I was like, I'll come with. And I was like watching the kids.
Yeah.
And it was like, I shouldn't be here.
Man, it is literally a cult. It's like...
Yeah.
And, like, I get... Like, if you take, like... the 10 Commandments, which are like pretty much like don't be a bad person, like that's a pretty decent way to live your life, but like you don't have to do the whole God and Jesus shit. Like it's I don't know, it's lame.
Yeah.
And it's a cult, and it just
100%. Like everybody was walking up to get their like bread and wine, and I was like
have your religion, have your beliefs, have whatever, but just don't fucking involve me because I was in it.
Obviously the church wasn't Catholic, but
no,
like
it's just a regular old church.
Why did it is that
most churches still do communion.
Do the bread and wine thing?
Yeah. But like Catholics take it super serious. But like, yeah, most churches still do a communion.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Every Bible still has the blood and wine.
See, I just went to youth group to hang out with my friends.
Yeah. Most people
finger girls in the back.
Yeah, that's what most people went to youth group for. The amount of shit that happened at youth group was not godly.
Oh, mate.
Anyways, my story. All right. So, have you heard of this little organisation?
No.
Called Commonwealth Bank of Australia?
Oh my God, no.
You haven't heard of them?
No, not at all.
No, they're so little. So they posted this week of their measly profits from this financial year.
Yeah.
Have a stab at what their little profits were.
1 billion?
No.
No? What is it?
$10.2 billion was their profit.
Oh, shit.
Now, this is coming from the banks who were saying...
That's chump change right there.
Yeah, but the banks are saying, boo-hoo, woe is me. People aren't paying things back. People aren't taking out loans. We're not getting enough money.
Didn't they just fire a bunch of people?
Yeah. So they posted that, which, and analysts say that the profit isn't big enough. 10.2 billion.
Isn't like a billion? Isn't that 1,000 million? Not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's not like it's like 100 million, like normal numbers.
People have been saying this really.
Yeah, because it's an analogy of like how much you would need to earn $1 billion.
1 billion seconds into years, right?
Yeah.
Is 31.71 calendar years. That's 1 billion seconds, right?
Yeah.
And then if you go to 1 million seconds, this is the difference. If you go to 1 million seconds, that's 3 months.
Jesus Christ.
1 million is 3 months.
Billion is
1 billion
is like 32 years.
is pretty much 32 years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like that's the
so
difference.
basically,
so they're saying 10 billion, analysts are saying that 10 billion is just damn not enough profit.
so if you work,
It's just not enough profit.
so if you earned $1 for every second that you were alive,
yes, you'd reach 1 billion after 32 years and not spending it.
not spending it.
Yep.
But the billionaires, it trickles down.
Yeah, trickle economics, trickonomics. Yeah, and it's like so
Trickle up economics.
that's what it is, and it's like when all these people on Twitter and stuff sucking Elon Musk's dick. It's like, man,
Touch grass.
touch grass. He is so far above you, and like he doesn't even pay taxes because he puts all his money in assets.
He's very white.
Yes,
Like I've seen him.
he's South African.
Yeah, I mean that's
So he's
South African.
Yeah, so he's like white South African. I wouldn't expect anything good from him.
I can't pick his accent because, like, obviously, because he's
No,
not
it's super
South African.
American. No, he did. He studied in America for ages.
But like, he sounds, I don't know, like he sounds like very Dutch. He sounds a
he's
little
got
bit of
weird
Dutch
accent. But like he had jade mine money, so he just did emerald mine money.
I
He
love
just
his
did
dad.
Yeah, I'll give money to anyone who proves that my dad owned an emerald mine. Oh, look who comes out! My dad, who owned an emerald mine.
Yeah. I'm going to say I'm going to build this tunnel so that they don't build a train line.
Yeah. Anyways, off of that.
Yeah.
So, 10.2 billion.
Yeah.
For your financial year, they're saying that's not enough.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dog shit. All right. So I did a little bit of digging around last night. Well, not last night, but through the week about this, right?
Yep.
Not just about that, but about some other things. So, let me give you a little history on banking.
Banking.
So, prototype banks were grain loans. So, farmers and traders who carried goods between cities would give each other grain loans.
This is back in ancient Samaria.
About 2000, before 2000 BC.
Yeah.
So, like, you'd be like, oh, I'll give you X amount of grain as long as you bring X amount back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because, like, oh, you're starving, you know, we'll give you that and you give us this. You know?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like trade culture.
Yeah.
About 2000 in Assyria, India, and Samaria.
Yeah.
You know, like around that region. Ancient Greece and Roman Empire, lenders based in temples gave loans. And while accepting deposits, it was more the change of money. So like swapping currencies and stuff like that. And like India and China kind of have the same stuff, and like, but India and China have more of a concept of lending. So we're going all the way back to just after 2000 BCE, where banks came in, and it was more of the exchange of goods and lending.
Yeah.
Right? So the historical roots of modern banking come from medieval and Renaissance Italy.
With the Medicis. With Italy.
Yeah, Italy.
Yeah.
Particularly in Florence, Venice, and Genoa.
Yeah.
The Bardi and Peruzzi families dominated banking in the 14th century Florence.
Is that where and
established banks through Europe?
You would put your gold or put your coins or whichever you had, and like you could, isn't that where you could like also, like you say you have your money in there, and they give you a bit of paper, I think, and you can take that to the shops. And I think that's what you used to do, isn't it? Like that's, I remember reading
there were parts like that.
Yeah.
There were parts like that, but there was also like you could put your money in there and you could take X amount out, or you could say, hey, you know how much money I have in there? Can I get a little bit of extra money in there?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you'll have more money later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's kind of the start of like the modern banking system, and that's where interest started.
Yeah.
Where it was like, hey, I'm going to give this to you now, but when you give it back to me, I want a little bit extra because you're inconveniencing me.
Yeah.
It wasn't I need to make a profit. It was, you're inconveniencing me by taking my money out, because it was physical.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like, I have physical money. So I was giving you something and you were giving me extra back because I wouldn't have that sitting there. Like, let's say it's gold coins, right?
Yeah.
You put 200 gold coins in the bank.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, bro, I need 300 gold coins, actually. And you're like, well, okay, I'll give you the extra 100 gold coins, but that means I have 100 less gold coins in my reserve.
Yeah.
When you bring it back, I need you to bring me 50 extra gold coins, which is 50% profit, whatever.
Yeah.
I need you to bring me back 50 gold coins just because, like, you inconvenience me. And be like, yeah, sure, whatever, you know.
Or be like, hey, fuck you, I'm going to go to the other guy.
Yeah. when it's negligible like that, like, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, but like interest at the moment, it's like, I'm going to get a $600,000 loan at 10% interest rate or whatever. And it's a ridiculous amount of money. So, credit, right? Credit.
Credit.
Is thought to have preceded coin. So, like, instances of credit were old Sumeria documents were collected that showed a system of credit to loan grains and metal and livestock and equipment.
Yeah.
So you'd give them so much grain, and then they'd use X amount of grain, and they'd have to pay the grain back or pay you back in some other way with more metal or something like that. So, like, these concepts have been around forever. So it's not like a modernization. It is a modernization of older concepts, but like the concepts aren't new. Like the concepts are the same. It's we'll give you X, but you give us X back.
Yeah.
So, and like, you know, it's like mates. It's like, hey, can I borrow this? Yeah. Don't break it. Like, that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
But banks are like, we'll give you money if you give us more money back.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's your general concept, right? So here I have some statistics.
Statistics?
Well, not really statistics, but I have some information. So the pay packet of the CEO of Comm, Matt Commyn.
Yeah. Commyn.
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 Comyn.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's common or common. Common. His pay package overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
10.426 million a year.
Okay.
Which is a 3.458 million increase from his earlier income of 6.98 million.
Why?
A year.
How much do you need?
A year.
We only, the highest tax rate we get is 45%. So
a year.
So 40. He doesn't.
10 million.
Yeah.
A year.
10 million a year. How much does he need?
What the fuck? What do you do with $10 million a year? Like, if you buy a $5 million house, like, you've still got $5 million sitting in the bank, buddy.
Oh,
you own the bank.
So we get taxed at a 45% rate as a highest tax rate. If he's earning 10 million, so he's on roughly what, 5.3 million by the end of it. How much is that? Would you say is a week?
So you can do the maths.
Do the maths? Do quick maths?
Or what?
5.3 million divided by 52.
Divided by 52 is 101.92 thousand a week.
Oh, that's stretching it.
100,000 a week.
100,000 a week.
I don't even make 100,000 in a year.
I don't make 100,000. No, not the average Australian scratches that.
No.
No.
And he's making that a week.
I think the average household scratches that just barely.
So I looked up what a CEO does, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, so obviously his labor must be exponential compared to his employees.
Yeah.
And his labor is just to make sure that the company is on track, the shareholders are happy, and to direct the company in its stuff.
Yeah.
How much can you direct a bank?
Yeah. We should look up what a CFO does and what a CAO does.
I don't care about
There are all these
the
other
numbers.
terms
Yeah,
that you
for
can
people
look at.
for people who sit there and
Who earn
make
$1 million.
the big decisions when they probably just talk to consultants
100%.
and
Yeah.
someone will say, "Hey,
Well-
how about we just raise them interest rates?"
Well,
and
the thing
make
is,
more
though,
money.
Those guys have guys under them
Who have guys under them?
that
And-
direct them what to do.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about just like task management.
Because they have data analysis. I doubt banks wouldn't have guys on hand that do data analysis.
Exactly. So they
statistical
get all
data.
the data analysis and statistical data together, and they go, "Oh, okay, so we're just going to make more money.
Yeah.
We're just going to do decisions to make more money. Like
Yeah.
I could be a CEO. I'm going to do whatever decision makes us more profit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how his labor is $10 million.
Because these other guys already get paid to do their jobs.
He could literally do his job once, like go in once a week and
He's
sort it
just
out.
like the Arnold Schwarzenegger character from The Simpsons who's like, these are your options. I choose option 3.
Yeah.
It's like, that's
Are
it.
you sure you want to choose option 3? I've already picked it. Option 3.
Yeah.
Like that's. So, I looked it up. As of 2022, Commonwealth Bank has 53,395 employees.
That's not a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
The average pay of a Commonwealth Bank employee, when I last looked, it's for 2021. It was kind of summed up.
$28 an hour.
No, 90,000 a year. So average about, I think it was like $47 an hour. But
$47 an hour though versus
all the customer support representatives, so call center workers, in branch workers that were just customer service. All the customer service workers, so the people in the call centers, the people in stores doing all the customer service, getting the brunt of people's abuse, were earning between 52,000 to about 90,000. All the behind the desk work or like the executive loan officers or like borrowing officers were earning between about 80 to about $200,000 a year.
versus a guy who
And
earns $100,000 a week.
And like your IT guys and stuff were on 90 to about 120. So like that, you could say they're earning decent wages. Like customer service people are obviously less skilled.
Yeah.
So like you don't need a qualification to get into customer service. Like you could have a qualification, but like it is kind of like an entry level job.
100%.
So like obviously they're going to be on the lower end, but like if you compare your customer service worker who's standing in the Comm bank getting abused by the old man because he forgot his PIN number, compared to the CEO who's making $100,000 a week,
And then it's just like sitting there with these options in front of him, like,
and they made $10 billion in profit.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I'm sure you could afford to pay your workers just a smidge more.
just
But they
above.
say
Yeah.
if you pay your workers more, inflation will go up.
But what did
which
they
is
pay this?
bullshit.
What did they pay the CEOs more?
Which is bullshit, because if the CEO's earning $100,000 a week, how is it going to hurt if your employees earn an extra $200 a week?
But
Inflation is not caused by the poor; it's caused by the rich and increasing profits.
But Andy, they're the ones who take the financial brunt of
Oh yeah, they take
if something goes
financial burden.
wrong.
You know, if I had $10 million, I would fucking retire. I
Yeah.
would not even have to work, right?
Yeah.
So, I also brought this up. June 2022, Commonwealth Bank closes 200 branches within 3 years. So, leading up to June 2022, they closed 200 branches.
Actually, yeah, one up the road from me just closed down.
Yeah. So, they said it's because there was a sharp drop in usage of the branches in both cities and the country, creating ongoing pressure to shut down the outlets,
Yeah.
meaning they were paying their staff to serve less customers.
Boo-hoo.
So here's a branch that closed in 2023, closed another branch, sacking 19 staff.
Yeah, but what are those 19 staff going to do?
So if we
Go to another bank?
what was it, 200 branches times 19, let's say 19 is the average in a branch.
Yep.
3,800 workers just lost their jobs because it wasn't profitable. That's my old air quotes again. It wasn't profitable to have these branches open,
Yeah.
but you posted a $10.2 billion profit,
Exactly.
putting more people out of work and raising your profits and saying 10 billion is not enough.
Because you need to raise the unemployment rate. Remember?
All right, here's the further maths, right? So that's 3,800 people lost their jobs in 3 years, right?
Yep.
Very sad. If we paid them the 90,000 on average for their employees, right?
Yep.
That put into a number.
Is a number that he is figuring out.
That I am figuring out because I don't know how many zeros.
Is in 90,000.
I did the maths
Figure it out.
and it's gone.
It's gone. Where'd it go?
It would be $342 million.
So not a dent in the 10 million.
Not even $1 billion.
No. Not even close. Not even close to half.
Well, their 10.2 billion would be like 9.9 billion.
Oh no.
And that's paying them average. But these are the staff that are inside the stores. So
Yeah.
half of them would be customer service, half of them would be loan officers. So I doubt it would even out to about 90,000. But if you do the average 90,000, like that's not even that's not even 10% of their profits.
No.
And this is after they were saying we're not going to close rural or regional branches when they did.
Yeah, they did.
And like where I live, there's no branches.
No.
They closed them.
Yeah.
There was like 4 that I could get to.
I think there was one in the township. It used to be in the township. Like
It's
I remember,
gone. They're all gone.
I remember when I lived out that way, and it was. I tried to Google it to.
Yeah.
Like,
Now there's just an ATM.
Yeah.
That takes up the whole area where the bank used to be,
Yeah.
but it's just an ATM.
Like-
And it's like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like I understand if you close like a couple branches, but like you should probably keep a couple branches in a couple
I can understand closing a couple branches in, like urban areas.
where you have like 3 or 4 close.
Yeah, or you have shopping centers that are right next to each other, and it's like, okay, well, they can just go to that one. We'll just send
Yeah.
all of our staff over there to
Make it a little bigger.
accommodate the shortage.
Maybe we get rid of a couple of staff. Of
or,
course,
or giving them options
but,
to move.
like, here's the thing: when did COVID start? 2020.
Yeah.
Right. So that was
Around April 2020 really hit
Yeah.
Australia. Yeah,
so it was leading up to 2022.
Yeah.
That they were closing branches because of people not using in-person branches. It's because no one was going in the fucking in-person branches because
No.
it was COVID.
no,
That's why most people were doing things online.
exactly.
So now that everything's opening up and people want to go out,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I'll just nip into the bank and, oh, it's not there. It's gone.
Yeah,
That's why I go with a smaller bank now, is because I can actually walk in and talk to someone. I don't have an AI fucking chatbot being like, hi, how's your day? How can I help you? I don't understand that prompt. I don't understand that prompt.
See, I would.
I don't understand that prompt. Please call our help center. You call the help center and they say, press 2 to speak to a real person. Are you sure you want to talk to a real person? We can redirect you to our chatbot. It's like, bitch, let me talk to someone.
Yeah,
It frustrates me. It's
Yeah.
like I understand like automation, everything's great, and like if you can have an automated voice say, "Hey, if you need help with this, just press this button and it'll get fixed." Like now,
yeah,
like that's fine.
Yeah.
But like if I want to talk to someone, I should be able to press a button and be like, "Fucking talk to me."
I think the most dumbest thing is that, like, so I was taking out a personal loan out of my bank recently, and that's like, It's like, oh yeah, fill out your online form. Fill out your online form, get it all done. It's like, you don't have to go into the bank at all. And it's like, okay, cool. Filled it all out, got to the end of it, and then it's like, oh yeah, you need to go to the bank to confirm this. And it's like, okay, but what was the entire point of the online process?
It's so you don't have to take up more of their time in bank.
Yeah.
So, like, I talked to a loan officer and she was only in 3 days a week because they didn't want to pay her to be in more than 3 days a week.
Yeah. But you know what's dumb, though, is the online application process is the information that they already have.
Yeah, they already know everything.
So I was like, just confirming. I was scrolling through the pages. I was like, oh, this is easy. Just where I live, my contact details, how much money I earn. You already know that. And it's just like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Why did you want to do this online? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's like, yeah, there's some things that's like, I'd much rather pay a bill online than go into the post office, and I'd much rather do this online than that. But like, when you're talking about money and when you're talking about such large amounts of money, you should be talking to someone. And like, a lot of these loan officers and stuff, they're not allowed to give their personal opinion, but they can say in their professional opinion that they don't think you should do it.
No, exactly.
They can say professionally, I don't think this loan's a good fit for you, or I don't think you need this loan, or you should be doing this loan because looking at your financials, like, it's not going to, like, you could get approved, but it's not going to be good. And that's like ethical lending.
Ethical, but they didn't do that.
And that's what we want.
That's why they had a banking royal commission.
Instead, you can go online and just be beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Oh, you're pre-approved for a loan. Go in and get it all okayed. And the loan officer's like, oh, I don't think you should do this, but it's all pre-approved for whatever. Here, sign, bye.
Yeah.
Like, I'd much rather talk to a person.
I can say that people do get dumb loans out and do get dumb credit cards out for things that they don't need. But generally, I think there's a worrying trend of amount of people that are getting personal loans out. Windy.
Yeah.
Are getting personal loans out that
they shouldn't be getting a personal loan.
They shouldn't be getting a personal loan and also need it to live.
Yeah, and it's like, if you need a personal loan to, like when someone's like, I'm moving house, I need a personal loan. It's like, what? It's like, I need it for the truck. I need it for furniture. I need it for the bond. It's like, some people that are like, oh, I need a personal loan for furniture when I'm moving house. It's like, what, are you getting rid of all your old furniture?
Yeah, we know someone like that.
I have furniture that I bought for my first house that fitted perfectly.
Yeah.
And now I'm in my fourth house. I'm like, nah, it'll just all cobble fucking together.
Yeah.
Does it fit in that space? A little bit.
It'll do. It'll fucking do.
Because it's pointless.
No.
So I found it here. Customer service representative, lowing paid in the bank, CBA, $59,300 a year. So just under half of what he makes a week.
How much is that divided by 52?
What, 59,000?
Yeah.
That's a year.
Yeah.
What?
How much is it divided by 52? It's like, how much a week?
Divided by 52.
Yeah. Math.
I times by 52.
Did you?
Yeah, 59.
Big money.
Divided by 52 is about 1,100 a week.
So that's not even after tax though.
That's two a fortnight.
So take 32% off. Because, we get 32 cents for $1.
Man, I didn't think I'd be doing maths on a fucking podcast. 32% of $2,200, $700. So you're looking at
$700 a week after tax.
No, taking $700 off.
Oh, they're taking. Oh,
so $1,500 a fortnight.
Okay. $1,500 a fortnight. You're spending $500. You're spending $500 a week on rent.
$750 a week.
Yeah, and then you're spending $500 a week on rent, and then you got $250 left over for fucking everything else.
So you got $500 left. How much is it? It reminds me of that U.S. Senator who was doing the thing to the owner of the bank.
Yeah.
Who was like, "This is the salary of one of your bankers."
Yeah.
And they drive a modest car. They have a tiny house. They live in a 1-bedroom with their daughter.
Yeah.
They all this, and they're minus $2,000 in the hole at the end of the month. It's like, yeah, that's literally what's happening now. Like,
yeah,
and like people say, oh, if you're a customer service representative, that shouldn't be your career. But it's like, we need people to be customer service representatives. So like customer service representatives should earn enough to live.
But it's also why? Why can't people just do the jobs that are required?
It's like when someone says, "Oh, you're just a barista." It's like, no, they're not just a barista. They make your fucking coffee.
Or
If we don't have just baristas, we don't have fucking baristas.
Or someone just a gardener, or they're just something else.
Yeah,
And
it's like, well, studies have shown that more and more millennials are working more than one job to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And it's all that, got to get that bread, grind set. It's like, no, it's not grind set. It's, I want to fucking live.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to enjoy myself. So I need money to enjoy myself. Like if I want to go travel, probably have to work 2 jobs. If I want to buy nice things, probably have to have 2 jobs.
There was a worker that we used to work with that did Uber during the nights.
He wasn't even a millennial. He was Gen X.
He was Gen X, yeah.
He had 3 kids and a wife.
He had 2 kids.
No, he had 3.
1 kid in school, 1 baby.
He had 1 school, 1 daycare, 1 baby.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
His wife worked. He did Uber.
Yeah.
And he worked as a groundsman.
I don't think she was also a specialized job as well.
Yeah. But and like he was just doing that to make ends meet. Yeah, he had a house, but he had to do that to keep his house.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you need people in these jobs. And they say, oh, it should just be unskilled workers in those jobs. It's like, yeah, but unskilled workers need to live too.
Exactly.
And it's like, if renting is meant to be that option for those unskilled workers and stuff. But if renting is too expensive,
then where do they go?
Where do they go? So, right, I was trying to figure out last night, lying in bed. I was like, how much of a deposit do I need? Can I get away with a 5% deposit and use one of those dodgy companies, right?
Yeah.
To own my own home.
So, what kind of house are you aiming for?
So I was just looking around the local area.
Like Brisbane local area?
I was just looking around Ipswich area, right?
Ipswich, okay. Outside of
Brisbane.
Yeah.
It should be affordable because it's not a major city. It's not a capital city. It's not a city.
It's not Logan.
Yeah. I was like, okay. So I remember years ago, you could get years ago, by years ago, I say about 8.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Actually, no, like 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years ago, you could get a little 3-bedroom house, 1 carport for about 350,000. Right. Not a big block of land, but like that was it. And like house and land packages were like 350, 360, right? For the house and land.
Yeah.
Now it's like 350 for the land.
Yeah.
So here's a house. I sorted by cheapest, right?
Yeah.
This was the first house I came across. All the rest were 1-bedroom units, 1-bedroom townhouses, 2-bedroom townhouses.
So this is an actual house.
Duplex. This is an actual house with a yard not attached.
Yeah.
Only accepting offers over 320,000, right?
Yeah.
Have a stab at how many bedrooms. This is
2. I'm going to guess 2.
Lower.
Was it 1?
1 bedroom.
1 bedroom?
1 bath. 1 carport. 1 sunroom.
How small is this fucking house?
450 square meters, the land, right?
Yeah.
The description read, great fixer-upper, whether you want to restore it to its old glory or a new modern icon.
What glory?
Great
it's a
for
1-bedroom fucking cottage.
Great for investors or first homeowners to start a family. Spacious 450 square meters.
Fuck.
Do you know why it's spacious 450 square meters? Because there's no fucking house on it.
There's no house.
Like it's fucking it is, and cherry on top, it had a picture from the outside.
Yeah.
An aerial picture.
Yeah.
A picture from the backyard.
And that's it.
And pictures of like where it's situated in Ipswich, like how far away it is from everything. No interior shots. And by the wording of restore,
I'm guessing it's fucked.
I'm guessing it's a shithole. And by the look on the outside, it's a dog shithole.
You know what it probably was? It was probably a mining cottage from like the 20s.
The next house that I could find was over 400,000. And like, I'm not shitting on anyone who wants to buy an apartment or a unit or a townhouse or a duplex or whatever. I was just looking at like a house. Because like, if you think of like the great Australian dream is you have a house that you have and your kids grow up there, you play cricket in the backyard.
The atomic dream, yeah.
Yeah, like you mow a cricket pitch in the backyard, they play cricket on Christmas, they have their friends over, you put a sprinkler in the backyard for your kids to run around in summer, I guess you can't do that now because of global warming and shit and wasting water. But like, that's like the Australian dream if you want to compare it to like the American dream. And you can't do that for under $400,000. And you got to buy a shit box for over $400,000.
Well, closer to Brisbane, like I think there's closer like Springfield. 800,000 is the average house price out there.
For a townhouse. That's not even for a house. That's a townhouse.
Oh, there's some houses in that kind of category, but like they're 3-bedroom, don't have massive yard, basically a townhouse.
Yeah, so right. So most banks will want a 10 to 20% deposit, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you find the gem in the rough. You find a shit box that you can live in.
Yeah.
With 2-3 bedrooms for 400,000. Banks want a 10 to 20% deposit.
Yeah.
10% of 400,000 is $40,000, right?
Yeah.
What's the average wage in Australia? We found that out last week. $80,000.
Yeah.
So literally half of your wage you need to save for your deposit. Now, what's that tax rate that you get taxed at?
Lowest is 32%.
So you get taxed 32%.
Yeah.
So you need to save 50% of your wage. You're taxed 32%. So that means you need to live off of...
I don't know.
Do the maths.
I can't do maths.
50 plus 30, 80.
Yeah.
So that's 82% of your wage you need to save and tax.
So you're on 50,000 a year and then you need to save and tax.
No.
No?
So 82% of your wage goes to tax and saving for a house deposit if you want to save in 1 year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that leaves 18% of your wage to live on.
18%.
Now
So that's already on the rent that you have to pay for.
That's if you want to save in 1 year, right? So you got a 4-year plan. You want to save 10 grand a year.
Mm.
So now you need to save, I think it's 12.5% plus your 32% tax.
Yeah.
So 40, let's say 45% of your wage is gone.
I think you're forgetting about another thing.
What? You got to pay rent while you're saving?
No, you also have to pay 11% of your income to super.
Jesus Christ.
So you'll have
How
your...
is anyone ever meant to do this? And like I see all these things online. It's like low deposit houses. Like just come with a 2% and we'll add 25 grand and we'll help you out. It's like, dog, do not go for that because you will be in the hole. Because then you still got to pay rates once a year. You got to get house insurance.
100%.
And most of these places are in flood zones. Bah, 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 bah. Yep. And if you're in a flood zone, good luck getting insurance, and that shit's going to be wrecked in a couple years.
Well, most people just don't get insurance. Most people buy a house and then can't afford the insurance, so they don't get it.
Exactly. And then the house burns down, then they're fucking homeless or they're back to renting.
Yep.
The system's out to fuck people. And so I saw on the news the other night, one last point. I saw in the news last night, it was the finance guy, the old dude on ABC.
Yeah.
He said, most of the wealth is owned by the baby boomers.
Yeah.
Most of the labor and work is done by millennials.
Yeah.
Most of the debt is held by millennials.
Yeah.
And most of the spending is done by baby boomers.
Yeah.
So the old are literally fucking the young because they want to stay rich.
Yeah. And it's like, sorry, kids.
Yeah. And literally...
I've seen that.
The presenter said, sorry, kids.
Yeah.
Bro, millennials are not fucking kids. We're all adults now.
Well, we're Gen Z.
No, we're not. We're end of millennial.
We're Gen Z is now 1996 forward. They've changed it.
Back.
I looked it up. No, 1996 forward is Gen Z.
Let me...
You can Google it.
Millennials. Damn, I can't spell for shit.
So millennials are 1996.
Hang on. Don't yell at me.
I will yell at you. Calmly.
Okay.
He's looking. Got the gears going.
Oh my god, why can't anybody just give me a goddamn list? It's like they got to do like 100 fucking sentences. It's like, give me this date to this date, this date to this date.
Yeah.
Okay, so Generation Y, or millennial,
Yeah.
is 1980 to 1994. But that's Australia's McCrindle research.
McCrindle research, yeah.
The Australian Bureau of Statistics uses 1981 to 1995 to define millennials in 2021.
And where Gen Z?
Hang on. But the psychologist Jean Twenge defines millennials as 1980 to 1994. CNN says it's 1981 to 1996. And sometimes 1980 to 2000.
I don't think I have any idea what they are.
Some state that it's 1981 to 1996, and some state that it's 1980 to 1997.
Yeah. So, but either way, it's just kind of stupid.
I heard a good term because the generations wiggle around.
Yeah.
I heard a good term for us, and it's between 1994 and 1998. They call them zillennials.
Zillennials.
Because you're at the arse end of millennials and you're at the start of Gen Z.
Yeah.
So the millennials, right?
Yeah.
If you're at the arse end of millennials, you understand a lot of the Gen Z culture, but you're not in it. And
No.
it's the same as you understand a lot of the millennial culture, but you're not in it. It's like when people say, oh, you're born in 1998, so you're not a 90s kid. But you would still grow up with having those shows as reruns
100%.
on the TV.
Yeah, I mean, we did.
Yeah, like I grew up with 1990s shows and stuff, and like, you know.
Pokemon came out in 1999, but I mean, like the first Pokemon game.
Yeah.
But we also remember playing it.
Well, the card game came out in 1996.
Yeah.
In Japan, and then 1997 for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But it's because we fall in a pin drop, like you could say we're either or.
Yeah.
You know, like we can go with whichever one we want. But I like to think that we're in the middle.
Yeah.
But like I side more with millennials because I've got more of an old soul, where a lot of people our generation might go with Gen Z because they might be more tech literate than us or something like that.
And they don't want to identify with some millennials, because even some millennials have very...
Oh, yeah, like millennials
dated
were born
views.
in 1980, bro. Like,
Yeah.
they're old as fuck. They're 40s.
Yeah, they're still smoking, smoking cigarettes in the...
But like, that's the thing. That's the thing. Is that they say, sorry, kids, millennials are in their fucking 40s.
I just think it's so stupid to apply this kind of like, oh, they're kids, but like they're 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think anybody that you attribute to being a child and they're doing things like going overseas to fight in a war,
Yeah.
or they're doing things like helping people save lives in a hospital, which they do, you shouldn't be calling them kids.
Yeah. But like, I understand the concept of young and dumb, because like I did dumb fucking things until I was like 22, 23. Like
Yeah.
I was a fucking moron. And like, as you get older, you kind of realize the dumb shit and you're like, man, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, we did dumb shit, but I don't think
That's
any...
like, have you ever compiled a list and been like, man, I should probably apologize to all these people for such a shit cunt I was? But then you go, we were all shit cunts because we're all kids. And
we're all 15.
We're all figuring out like our hormones and
We're all 15.
power dynamics.
We didn't know
and
what the fuck we
everything
were
like
doing.
that. Exactly. But so like I understand the whole young and dumb thing, but like if you're going to let them vote, if you're going to let them die, if you're going to let them save lives, don't call them kids.
No.
And like don't call millennials kids. They're not.
No,
They're not kids. Millennials.
They're 40.
So like if you class us as millennials, right? If you say we're at the arse end of millennial, or even people older than like 1994 are at the arse end of millennial, they're nearly 30.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you
I'm 3 years from 30.
You can't call them kids.
No.
And it's like, this is the ages that you guys were like buying houses and settling down and investing and
Just starting
sorting
to have kids.
yeah. And like us, it's like you told us just wait, it'll get better. Just wait, it'll get better. Just wait, it'll get better. And then that's why
We waited.
Yeah, and
It
that's why
didn't.
people say like, oh, Gen Z's entering the workforce and they're like bringing all these new ideas in. It's because like I feel like Generation X and millennials, they're like hard work gets you somewhere.
Yeah.
And just wait, your time will come.
I think Gen X
And-
were at the very end of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like the just wait, your time will come. You just got to get lucky, or if you just put in the work and get noticed, or if, something this will happen, something that will happen, or you could be a millionaire if you just apply yourself. And like Gen Z, their parents are Gen X or their parents are millennials, and they're like, no, their parents wouldn't be Gen X.
No, their parents would be millennials.
No, they would be. Like some.
You'd have very late like young Gen X.
Yeah, but like you'd have parents that are 50.
Yeah.
Up.
There's some parents that I've seen at school that are 50.
Yeah, but their kids would be like 19.
They like the smell of their own farts too much.
Yeah, but their kids would be 19 because like Gen Z's like fucking 22, 23 now.
Yeah.
So like their parents would be 50 if they had them at like 25 or whatever. So like there's Gen X at the end, arse end of Gen X.
Yeah.
And millennials who've had kids.
Yeah.
Who are going, bro, there's like no fucking chance you're owning a home, so just be happy.
Yeah.
So the Gen Z come into work and they're like, fuck this, I don't like it, and they leave.
Yeah.
Because like it was drilled into us that was like, do hard work, stay there, commitment, loyalty will get you rewarded. Where Gen Z go, you got no fucking loyalty to me, bye.
My son was learning about money at school this week.
Yeah.
And he's like, money's stupid. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
It takes the inside of a 7-year-old to
Yeah.
like it's such a dumb concept, but it's like it's a whole world's built on it, so you can't just crumble it down.
So the dumb thing was, this is the dumb fuck part about the school. So they gave him $5.
Oh no.
They gave him $5 and they're like, you need to get some essentials. I'm thinking you could get bread and milk and that's it with $5.
You could get a 3-liter bottle of milk. There you go. Dunsky.
Do you remember when you used to go down to the shops and you could get long life milk and bread, the cheapest bread?
Yeah, when you're gonna have soggy bread for breakfast.
Yeah, right. I remember when you used to go down to the shops for $5 and you could get milk, bread, and a bunch. Not like a lot, but
You used to be able to go down $10, get a drink, loaf of bread, some ham, some cheese, butter maybe, bit of sauce, and you come home. You can make sandwiches.
Yeah.
You could go down and you could get a tin of spaghetti for $1. That's a fucking meal.
Yeah.
Boom.
There you go.
Spaghetti's like $2 now. And they've changed those fucking tins. I don't know if I said it last week, but it shits me off so much that the regular small tins, they're like, this is for 2 people. It's like, nah, what 2 people, bro? Like kids starving in Africa? Like, fuck me.
Everybody's cutting down. They're like, you have to eat less.
Yeah, eat less.
Yeah, eat less.
And then there's that movement of people who are like, eat less, eat clean. It's like, yeah, I try to eat clean, but clean is expensive.
Yeah, clean is expensive. And then also, why are you telling people with dietary problems, eat less?
Yeah. It's like they said on the news, they're like, oh, millennials are spending less on food. It's like, yeah, because they can't fucking afford it.
No.
I did groceries. It cost me $200.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm spending $100 a week, $200 a week, $100 a week, $200 a week, and I'm still not buying certain things.
No.
If shampoo's not on sale, I'm not fucking buying it.
No.
If shit's not on sale, I'm not fucking buying it.
Just put some water in the bottle and shake it around.
Exactly. It's like this day and age, I pick up the shampoo bottle and I go, I can wait another couple days till payday to wash my hair because I'm not going to fucking buy another bottle.
I think the next news story will be like, oh, just wash your hair every week.
What, once a week?
Yeah, just wash your hair once a week.
Well, I wash my hair once a week.
Shower every 2 days. Save money.
Yeah, I'm on tank water, so I wash my hair once a week because I don't have the water.
Or it'll be like, charge your phone at work.
Yeah, it'll be charge your phone at work. Why don't you sleep in the office so you don't spend money on fuel going home?
Exactly. It'll be like, just charge your devices at work and then use the batteries at home and then only have everything else off in the house.
Yeah, and sit in the dark.
Sit in the dark.
Eat a tin of spaghetti.
Pay your $1,000 a week in rent and be happy, you son of a bitch.
Have your kids live in the room with you.
They can huddle around the laptop.
Yeah.
Don't worry about heating. Use that.
Yeah, just overheat your laptop for fire.
Yeah.
And then when it blows up, go to work and claim it on.
Claim it on tax. Exactly. Don't worry about work from home. Go to the office, though.
Oh, it's such a grim world we live in. It's like, how the hell does anybody ever get out of the hole?
Well, like I've got a brother that's ending high school, and he's like, I don't give a shit what I do, because he's like,
wants to earn money.
Well, it's like I want to earn money, but it's like also I don't care, because why would he?
Yeah. What's his future going to be?
What's he going to do?
We're literally at the point where climate change is irreversible.
Well, he obviously has a girlfriend. I was like, would you guys think about getting married? He's like, that's not a thing we talk about. I was like, would you buy a house, have kids? He's like, that's not a thing people talk about. My kids, like, generation talk about.
No.
Because even if you think about it, like, our generation, even though we're teenagers, we were dumb. We were like, yo, yeah, I'll have kids. I'll get married one day.
We had aspirations.
We had aspirations. I don't know a lot of kids with aspirations nowadays.
No.
Like, they don't want kids. It's not, well, they don't not want kids.
They're like, oh,
they won't have kids.
Like, I had this thing. I was talking with my wife the other day. I said, we keep putting things off and say, oh, we'll wait. And the reason we do that is because you're like, and a lot of people do it is they're like, oh, we'll wait to do this because, like, we're not financially ready. We'll wait to do this because we're not in a stable position. We'll wait to do this. And then I feel like our generation has done a lot of waiting, and it's too lating.
100%.
Like, we'll wait to buy a house. Oh, too late. We'll wait to change careers. Oops, too late. We'll wait to have kids. Oops, too late.
Yeah.
We'll wait to do that thing that we've always wanted to do. Whoops, too late. Because, like, the world just keeps crushing you and pushing you down. And it's like, I work 6-7 days a week, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting any further ahead by working 6-7 days a week. I'm keeping my head above water working 6-7 days a week. If I didn't work weekends, I'd be pretty fucked.
Just eat less avocado toast and lattes.
I don't even eat avocado.
I don't even.
Okay. That statement, right?
Yeah.
That statement that the boomers give you. Don't get a coffee every day, right? How much is a coffee? Let's say you get a regular coffee from Macca's. It's like $4.50, right?
It's $5 now. $5.20.
$5.20. Okay. So if you got a coffee, right, every day of the year, so 365, right?
Yeah.
You'd spend $1,800. Well, it's $2 shy of $1,900 a year.
Yeah.
That's not a house deposit. That's nowhere near a fucking house deposit. That's not a car deposit. $1,900 a year for you to have coffee, an enjoyable coffee.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, if someone says maybe you shouldn't buy that every day, fuck yeah. But, like, people don't buy that every day, right? So, like, they're buying it 5 times a week, 4 times a week. Maybe just some days they just need that coffee, that pick me up.
Yeah.
Maybe they need iced coffee. Maybe they need that bar of chocolate, whatever. If you're making yourself, if boomers saying that or people saying that is making you feel bad about doing something for yourself, tell them to go fuck themselves. It's like one of the young guys at work, right? He's 19.
Yeah.
He was telling me that his parents were telling him he's bad with money and he needs to go see someone about managing his money. And I said, okay, what do you spend your money on? He goes, I don't know. If a video game comes out and I like it, I'll buy it. I go, okay. What are your costs? He's like, well, I'm living at home, so it's $100 a week from board. So it's $200 a fortnight. I said, okay, so you're buying groceries for home or something? He's like, nah, I pitch in sometimes. I'm like, okay, well, how much you and your girlfriend spending on takeout? He's like, oh, probably like $70 a week because, like, we don't want to eat with my parents all the time. I'm like, that's okay. So, like, you're spending about $140 a fortnight on food. Let's say that's food, that's meals.
Yeah.
So you're spending about $340 a fortnight. That's your expenses. So it's like, okay, so how much is your car? And he's like, oh, I own my car. I was like, okay. That's literally a gear change just to fuck with me.
He knew we were here.
Yeah. And, okay, so then how much you're spending what? He's like, oh, $70 in fuel a fortnight. I was like, okay, so, you know, we're up to like, what's that? $400 a fortnight, right, in expenses. I was like, okay. And, you know, how much is your insurance? He's like, oh, it's like $600 a year. I was like, okay, so you can break that down by 12.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. I was like, okay, so how much do you earn a fortnight? And, you know, it's like $1,200 or $1,400. He didn't want to tell me the exact number. I was like, that's fine.
Because he's an apprentice.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so you're up about $600 to $800 depending.
Yeah.
I was like, how's that bad money management? I'm like, what are you doing with that money? He goes, oh, I just put it in the savings. I was like, do you touch it? He's like, not unless I want to. I was like, okay, who the fuck's telling you you're bad with money?
Yeah.
If you were getting a $1,400 paycheck and living with your parents and you were just blowing the whole fucking thing on pointless shit,
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, you're bad with money. But, like, he's still getting his takeout. He's still buying his video games. He can afford his car. He can afford his Joe. He can afford his insurance. He can afford his overhead for food. He can afford his board. I don't understand why someone's telling him he's bad with money because, oh, sometimes he'll come home with a frozen Coke or sometimes he'll buy a coffee. And I was like, next time someone tells you you're bad with money or you need to go see someone, tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
And he was like, oh, I also need to see someone about doing my tax. I said, look, I did my tax myself for the last 8 years. What a waste of fucking time that was. For the first time ever I went and paid someone to do it, it took them 15 goddamn minutes to do my tax.
Yeah.
And every time I did my tax, it would take me half an hour to 2 hours of yelling, screaming, reading, what the fuck is that policy? Huh? Do I have to pay this? I don't know. Tick this box. You can't tick that box. Oh, okay, whatever. I was like, go pay someone $140, $150, whatever dollars. Claim it back next year. You spend $150 once.
Yeah.
I was like, there you go. There's your financial advice. You didn't have to pay me anything.
Yeah.
It's like it's like they're telling Gen Z, like, they're like, oh, you're bad with money. No, they're not bad with money. It's just costs are too much.
Yep, 100%.
It's fucking frustrating.
100%.
If you enjoyed this, if you want us to talk about anything, if you want to have a whinge, if you want to complain about anything, you know, your financial situation, how hard it is, expenses, if you remember a time when you could buy something for cheaper, or, you know, you want to reminisce about 5 years ago when you might have been able to afford a house, please send us an email, you know, flick us some news stories or anything, or you can even record a voice message. We might play it on the show. So thanks for that. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.